Small ships which can destroy capital ships. Now that sounds like a crazy idea, but in Space Engineers it is a possibility. Today we're taking a look at the Starhawk Railgun Frigate. Yes, you heard me correctly, this is a frigate which is packed full of railguns which could probably take down a good capital ship or two in-game. Hey everyone, my name's Captain Jack and welcome back to Space Engineers. Today we're taking a look at Rexcraft's Starhawk Railgun Frigate. It's heavily armed, extremely agile, and is basically a frigate. It's simple, cheap to build, and only takes 8k PSU and has no subgrids. Essentially, if you're playing on a survival multiplayer server, maybe like one of my public servers available on my Discord server, cheeky plug, then maybe you'd want to build this to take on your opponents. Let's take a look in game at what this ship actually has, and then we can explore more of the features. Alright, we're in game. Immediately, we can see the ship is going to be extremely agile because of the engines pointed on here. We have these sort of nacelle structures on the external side where the hydrogen engines are pointed. Don't forget, this thing is designed to be agile and hard hitting. So it's going to have to blend like heavy hitting armor between heavy hitting like force railguns and such. So that's something important to keep in mind. We have a lot of engines mounted to the side and forward part of the ship, basically designed to make it agile. So large thrusters here on these nacelles or bits that stick out here. I do really like their design though, because it isn't just sticking two thrusters to the side and hoping for the best. So we've got two here, or two thrusters there, two thrusters there, two on that side and two on that side, and that complements our entire thing. Still in saying that, we do have 4 large thrusters on the underside or the ventral hull, basically allowing us most likely to go into atmosphere or at least get around rather quickly. There's also a main engine at the back here in sort of a spine of a ship and a docking port as well. In terms of thrusters on the sort of top side, we have a couple here basically to point us down, but you can probably roll the ship to sort of like make it go down if you wanted to. But if you're taking us to atmosphere, you don't really want too many thrusters on the top side anyway, which is something to keep in mind. Now, before we do look at the railguns and the impressive armament, because there's about 8 of them, I believe, which is kind of OTT and a little bit OP for this ship, we do have other guns as well. We've got 2 artillery turrets we can see on top here as well, and 3 Gatling turrets as well. So 1 Gatling there, 1 there. Where is the other one? It's on the bottom side. Cool. So we have a good amount of like PDC defense there for incoming missiles and things like that. The artillery turrets is definitely going to help if we go into any closer combat, but ideally you're going to want this frigate to sit on the external part of the battle and just lay into a ship from a mile away. I do like the drill on the front. Not quite sure what I'd use the drill for. But yeah, I guess so it can pick up its own supplies. Most likely, you know, this could be a survival ship you choose to play with in a public server or against your friends. It's sort of versatile and made for every sort of encounter. Having a drill on the front there, meaning if you need extra supplies, you can quickly go to an asteroid, mine a little bit, and it gets processed. Let's take a look at the inside, and we see some of the ship's systems, which are actually installed to help along with this. Okay, so the airlock is actually on the underside here, so we've got sort of nip it like this, ta-da, and there we go. Now, in terms of interior, there isn't actually much. This is the only interior of the Starhawk. So we've got a toilet over here, a shower, a bed. Are we lacking a kitchen? I don't think we have a kitchen. Oh no, we've forgotten the kitchen. Uh-oh. We also have a suit over here as well, screens to help us along, a desk, and this is the cockpit. Now the cockpit is pretty self-explanatory. It uses sort of like a small ship cockpit, but it does mean it's embedded inside the ship here for extra protection. There is a cryotube on board, so if you are sort of like using this in a public server environment and you want to save, you can quickly just go, boop, in you go, done and done. Okay, now obviously we've got cargo container access here as well. Let's take a look at the actual insides of this. Now, because it's all sort of compact and tightly built together, we've got to look at the actual insides for the old spectator cam here. So if I turn my headlight on, we can see what's in the ship. One thing I'm not a big fan is, is like, you know, over here, there's a bit of space in the armor section. Now, this does keep it lightweight and ensure things are, you know, working properly, but I feel like a bit of extra heavy armor could really be placed inside here, sort of stock up things up there, which is something to keep in mind. Obviously, there's no mods, no scripts, only for DLC and it's survival ready, so perhaps having a little bit less armor here is going to allow it to be faster moving. So we've got a lot of batteries in here for external power as well. We've obviously got the generator running back here as well. Jump drive, so we can jump in between systems. Lots of hydrogen thrusters stocked here as well. There is a large refinery on board. I'm trying to find where that is a second. Where is it? The large refinery is on here somewhere. I had it earlier, but I moved the camera off and I've lost it now. There's the internal sections. I imagine it's probably up front here. Hydrogen engines in front here. That's how we're powering my ship as well. I'm guessing the refinery's around here somewhere. We're sort of lost inside at a minute. Here's all the railgun sections. As we look for... Oh, here we go. Refinery is in here. The refinery is here. You can't really sort of see where it is, but it is there. He has the assembler as well. So it's all sort of hidden in that front bow section there. So things are tightly sort of kept together, but you are going to want this on a ship like this because, you know, there's so much going on, you don't want to have more space and then you're more of a firing risk. There's also this neat little con tower up here. I just wanted to point out, I really like this sort of antennas and things going on. You've got the laser antenna as well. I'm not sure what our main antenna. I was down here. It was a beacon. Yeah, we don't actually have a main antenna, do we? No, which is odd. Okay, I know what you want to see. You want to see us in battle testing. Let's go and do that. Okay, I spawned in one of Mr. Venom's ships over there. We're going to go and pay a visit to it. Look how agile this thing actually moves. This is just me moving it with the mouse and not touching the thrusters. This ship has some insane sort of agility to it, and I was just moving around. Controlling this in a public server, where maybe you don't have the full frames or it's low sim speed like most Space Engineer servers, is going to be rather key. Okay, right, let's take a look at what we've got. Now, I'm guessing the railguns might be... I've got weapon core enabled on my world here, so we might need to take a bit more direct control of them. Still, our camera is hidden behind multiple layers of actual... I can control the drill, that's quite funny. I'm going to turn the drill off. Oh, okay, I can control the drill if I hold left click down. Our camera is hidden behind multiple layers of glass here protecting it. So let's take a look. We need to go to K, we need to group the railguns. The RG, we'll name that for a minute. Now, hopefully I can add them to here and we should just be able to shoot one off. Oh my. Oh, we actually kicked the entire ship. Oh no, we kicked the entire ship. That was actually insane. Look at the power of that. 8 railguns sent the RCSB servos flying there through the Space Engineer's world. That is rather insane. It's still going as well. Right, now we need to wait for us to recharge and then we should be able to hit it again. This time, we'll aim into the underside here and see how much damage we can cause. Okay, we're lined up this time around. Railguns are armed. Let's get ready. Now this time, I am just going to press on here. Oh my, that shot straight through. Did it go through the ship? Let's lock my camera on a minute. It did actually breach the ship. Look, there's a console floating off in space there. But I think we breached the whole... Oh yeah, the bridge has sustained damage as well. The railguns are ripped straight through the entire grid. That is rather scary. It's still flying off as well. It can't take that many hits. So if you're thinking, if you're fighting in a public survival server, you're flying this along, and you get a couple of the factions pop along to deal you some damage, you hit them once with this ship, you get a few lucky shots off, you're going to win rather quickly. Let's line ourselves up again. I wonder where we can cause most critical damage. Probably towards the engine bay, isn't it? If we angle ourselves like that, we should be able to hit rather well. Right, ready again? I'm not sure if they're charged just yet. Oh, they are. Oh my god, that sent the entire thing up. We may have just crippled the entire ship there. It's still got engines available, so it's still been able to, like, you know, deal with itself. Obviously, if it was player controlled, it would be a different outcome. You would have to really try and land that shot to critical this ship. Still there, you can see what even landing a few of them does there. We've ripped through the entire system there, blown up some hydrogen tanks on board, and I think we took out a whole line of thrusters as well. So just about damage, you can really rip into a ship like this and cause a lot of damage, which is just something to keep in mind. Oh no, I think we blew up one of the thrusters inside. There's another console down here floating around. That might have been one of the bridge ones. Oh no. The ship has got so much damage done to it. Did we breach the bridge again? Oh yeah, the bridge is gone at the front. The whoever's in command will probably be dead by now. Okay, now we're charged. There we go. Ooh, that was like another direct hit towards the bridge there. Yeah, okay, we're taking the bridge out completely. Well, that's a lot of damage to the Cerberus. So this has been the Starhawk Railgun Frigate by Rexcraft. I do encourage you to go and check out this creation on the Steam Workshop. When it comes to PvP ships you're going to want to play with in survival Space Engineers on warfare servers like mine, you're going to want to use something like this. Just look at those railguns mounted front there. 4 on each side, totaling an 8. This thing is a ship killer and can be used very, very well. Keep that in mind. Alright everyone, I've been Captain Jack. Thank you very much for watching and we'll see you in the next video. See you soon.